Yeah, so the training at ZoomInfo for an inbound SDR is really, really comprehensive. So they've got like a whole
Sam, thanks so much for coming on the Sales and Sports podcast. I've been so excited for this one for a long time, as we discussed, like probably 6 months ago. Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so my name's Sam Lawal. I'll just go way back. So left university in 2020 or 2019. At the time I was really chasing a career in music. I was trying to be like big artist, and that was my dream at the time. So I wasn't really focused on sales or anything like that. I kind of fell into charity fundraising, just kind of like a side job while I was doing my music. After a while, like after a few years, plans changed in my life, realized music was more of a hobby than a career that I wanted to chase. And then I started getting a bit more serious with the fundraising. Like I was always fairly good. Like I was always hitting target, which many people don't usually do. And for context, charity fundraising, out on the street, approaching random people, literally,
tough, right?
literally. So it is. So many people find it hard. So I was hitting target, but then when I left, put the music to the side, that's when I focused on it a little bit more. And I started doing quite well. In 2023, I was actually the top street fundraiser for the organization that I worked for nationally. And that's like the biggest street fundraising company in the UK.
Unreal. How many people would be in that organization?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they have about maybe like 200 fundraisers at any given time. The turnover in fundraising is completely crazy.
How do they even is there an HR? How do they deal with like the payment and then people leaving after like a few days?
It's literally like now it's kind of set me up well for a sales career, because in that job, like I think the average retention rate is like 1 out of every 7. So once 7 people join, on average, one person will keep the job like long term. Like it's it's kind of.
This is wild. We need to dive into this. Funny enough, I applied for a charity fundraising job after uni.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know what else to do. I need a job, and actually went into like a proper interview setup in their offices.
Seriously?
It wasn't in their offices. It was in like a Pret, and then they showed me around their offices, and I didn't get it. I was like,
seriously?
Yeah,
man.
I don't know what was wrong with me then. But yeah, tell me about the role itself, because it's a tough job, right? Like how many people would you approach a day? What were you actually selling?
Man, literally hundreds of people every single day. So we would have like where I was working, we would have like 2-hour slots, and every 2-hour slot, there was one time I actually counted it. And it was like, I was like, man, this is ridiculous. No one's stopping. Let me just count how many people I try and stop. And long story short, it worked out to be about 200. I stopped counting after about an hour 40. It was like 250 after I stopped counting. So let's say on average, it's about 250, 300 maybe people that so let's say there was 2 people, I'd count that as 2. So each individual approach maybe like 200 or 150, but it's a lot of people.
Wow. And
the goal is to just try and get 2 people to sign up long term, give maybe £10, £12, £15 a month to a different charity. The charities that I was working for, I worked for like 9 different ones, but ActionAid, UNICEF, Centrepoint, Amnesty International, Young Lives vs Cancer, Teenage Cancer Trust, some big, really impactful charities. And I'm not going to lie, I actually really love the job. It set me up well for what I'm doing now. And it was just a vibe. Anyone who's watching this and is in fundraising will know that even though there's obviously downsides, you get a lot of rejection, but the culture there is just insane. You meet some lifelong friends, you have fun with people. Every single day you get to go out and like just make friends. And sometimes you might meet someone who might change your life. And I literally, obviously I met you on we can get into that now or later.
We'll get there soon. I want to stick on the fundraising for a bit. But like crazy. So like, tell me, where were you fundraising in London? Because I met you outside the Tate Modern.
We'll
get into that later. But like, where would you be based? because you're outside. I did field sales, right? So you're going in different parts of London, which is quite nice. You're changing it up and trying out maybe a new Leon every so often, or new Pret.
Yeah,
but
literally, Pret. Anyone who worked for the company that I work for, when they hear you say Pret, they'll know that that's usually the meet point for every. Yeah, but like we would work all over, anywhere that there's foot flow. So Old Street Station, London Bridge Station. There's select sites. So what I will say here, and most people kind of know this, is that there are like real fundraisers who are fundraising for actual like charitable organizations, and then there's kind of what like the social end. I'm not going to knock anyone on this anyway, but like with like the registered fundraisers, there's like different sites, and you have to kind of like apply for a site. So that it's not loads of people just gram. Literally. So every day they'll have like a schedule of like different sites that you can work, and it's depending on what the council have said is okay. But like there's so many in London. I worked abroad as well. I worked in US for briefly. Actually met my wife in the States while I was out there, so it definitely changed my life, and it was amazing 5 years. And some of the stuff the reason I like that's a part of my story is because you wouldn't think of that as like a lot of people kind of turn their nose up at fundraising, but it can really set you up very well for a career, especially a good career in sales. And if you're good at it, like I was top fundraiser 2023, top team leader 2024, got some good accolades you can see on my LinkedIn and stuff like that. And yes, it's really set me up with a lot of soft skills. And just so I
People
really
skills.
enjoyed it.
100%. And like, what made you the top performer out of interest was just like your ambition, the energy you gave out. Like, obviously, you got amazing energy and you connect with people super well. But like, what was it that made you top performer? And like, how many people would you approach to get like one sign up a day? And like, have you had like horror days where it's been raining and you're like, what am I doing? Like, have you been like peaks and troughs with it?
100%. Towards the end, it got to a point where like what we call a donut, like day where you don't get any signups was rare, but it would still happen every once in a while. Like less towards the end, but especially towards the start, there would be days when it's raining, you're out there, you're speaking to hundreds of people. You're getting F-offs, you're getting these kind of things, and people are like just looking at. Sometimes it's not even just the F-off. At least those people engage with you. Yeah. Sometimes it's just the people who and just like you're literally like you're like dirt on like the ground, and it's just like, oh man, what am I doing? But I think there was a few things that because towards the end of my fundraising career, I was a performance coach, so I kind of trained other fundraisers on like how to like succeed and stuff, and I'll let out some of the tips here if it's relevant. So I had 3 attributes that made you good at fundraising, and they kind of cross over into sales. One of them was conviction in the cause that you're selling, and that was kind of what got me through the rainy days. When I'm raising money for a homelessness charity, Centrepoint, and it's raining, but in my head I know that at 6 o'clock I can go home and I can go to sleep, and like I've got my wife next to me, I've got a warm bed, and I'm walking home on the way home, and I've been to the rooms where we house, and I'm really locked in with the cause. It would make me keep going, and it would make me feel really justified in a little bit of like interrupting people's day a little bit to try and like. Yeah, so you really need that conviction to get through.
Believe in the mission,
100%, and it crosses over into sales, even though it's not. It's not like you're raising money for a charity. One thing that I've learned since I've started my new job, obviously gone through Entr Tech and got a job, is that like when I really have a lot of understanding of how the product helps people and how it genuinely helps the end user, even if it's not helping like a vulnerable person outside of who I'm speaking to, like when I genuinely am locked into that, it makes me feel okay with cold calling and all that kind of stuff.
You're actually helping someone's day.
100%.
With software.
Literally. And then so conviction, communication skills. I had like 5 steps, but yeah, like I won't get too technical into it, but yeah. I can get the 5 steps. So 5 steps of fundraising that I trained people on was speak to everyone that you can. No one is someone that you can't speak to, as long as they're the right age and it's like compliant and everything like that. You like speak to them. don't assume. My boss right now, he's got a saying where it's like, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. So it's the same thing with fundraising. Just don't assume that they're not going to sign up just because they might have a bit of a scowl or whatever it is. So that's step one. Step two is build rapport. It's different in B2B sales. It's completely different to street fundraising. Yeah. B2B sales is kind of like, or might not even say you might say, how are you? Okay, all right, cool. And then let's get into it. But on fundraising, you've got to make that you got to kind of make a friend before you even, you got to make them comfortable with standing with you and chatting and love your energy.
A nice t-shirt or something.
100%. Literally, build that rapport, chat to them for a few minutes. What you up to today? Make them laugh, like that kind of thing. You might genuinely make some good friends out of it. Like I did do that. So second step is build a rapport to kind of get them to lower their guard a little bit, feel comfortable with you. Third step is an emotionally moving pitch. Create urgency, tell them about the cause, get them to really feel like the problem and the solution and that they can be empowered.
It's almost like a pattern interrupt. Oh, this guy's actually helping someone.
100%. And it helps. Like what I used to do when I was fundraising for Centrepoint is I'd have like photos of me at the rooms, so they can kind of see a face to it, and obviously trust is a big thing on the street, so I'd have that kind of stuff as well. And use emotive language, get people to really feel it, because it's a transactional sales is kind of emotional and that kind of thing. That's step 3. And then step 4 was assumptive ask. You got to be confident with your ask. If you're like, is that okay? Then people kind of just going to walk all over. You got to be like, realistically, like a meal deal a week, and you knew that meal deal was going to end youth homelessness or help us to get to this goal or save a child's life or whatever it is. Yeah. Probably not going to miss it, are you? Realistically, you as opposed to being like, can I get you on board? When I first started, I used to be like, can I get you on board? And it was literally. And step 5 was objection handling. So usually you just met someone on the street, they're gonna have their qualms about it, but if you can use empathy, really address their concerns, and just make a logical but you have to use the empathy though. You can't just go straight into you got to be like, I completely understand, and that kind of thing, and make them feel comfortable. But then be persistent. Sales, fundraising, same thing. You got to be persistent. So in the whole of communication, when I'd be training fundraisers, I'd say that use those 5 steps for the communication. Speak to make sure you can build rapport. Make sure you can give an emotionally moving pitch. Make sure you can ask assumptively and an objection handle. And then the third attribute that I said was really important with fundraising and obviously sales is just mental toughness. You can't, for lack of a better term, you can't be a victim. What I'd literally say to fundraisers was, we are raising money for the victims. We're not going to be out here, oh man, 100 people, like this person was rude to me, this person, you got to, it comes down to the conviction as well. Like, you got to just be on it and just focus on what's pulling you. When you're working for a fundraising agency like I was, and I wasn't working directly for the charities. I worked for a company that was basically a sales company that only sold to charities. Right. So charities would outsource their face-to-face fundraising efforts with the company that I worked for, just because face-to-face fundraising is hard to train and manage a team, and charities usually just want to focus on the actually helping people and that kind of thing. Sure. But when you're working, I can't remember my specific point, but you just got to have that mental toughness. Last attribute, you just got to really be mentally tough with it and focus.
And tell me the average earnings for someone in charity fundraising, right? Is it a split between commissions and daily rates, or is it commission only? What's the split there?
So there's in the company that I worked for, it was like a base rate, quite low base rate, and hourly base rate, and then like a bonus structure. Nice. For some figures, in the year that I was top 20 in 2023, I calculated it. And it was, long story short, I raised about 370,000 for Centrepoint.
Wow.
And I think I got about 50K that year. So
wow.
yeah, or maybe a little bit more. But like, yeah, so I was, so it's well. Raising about six times more for the charity.
That's like an outlier, because you obviously
yeah. But on average, it was I don't want everyone hearing this being like, oh, like most charity fundraisers will earn like 20,000 maybe. Most people won't make bonus. If they are making bonus, maybe like 30,000 max.
Got it. And then like what made you reach out? So funny story, I don't know if you want to tell it or I should tell it, but I can tell it. I came across Sam when I was walking to a meeting in the city, and you approached me, and I was like, God, I'm late for a meeting. I'm pretty sure I'd try to fob you off. But then you like, you had some rapport, you had some good chat. Obviously, energy's always on point. So I was like, okay, let me hear you out. And then you started speaking in like such a nice way, and I was like, this guy is really nice. But genuinely, I am going to go to a meeting. And it was outside the Tate Modern. I don't even remember. Was it South Bank around there?
Yeah.
And then, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know what you're doing at the moment, but it sounds like you'd be a really good fit for tech sales. And you're like, what's that? And I was like, just take my number, take my email address, and Entr Tech, ENTR space tech is the company. I help you break into software sales jobs. And then I was like, cool, see you later. I was like, I'm never going to hear back from that guy again, but I'll remember him because you were super memorable. And I never really do that. Like even in the 3.5 years, I've probably only given my name and number to probably about 2 or 3 people.
Serious?
Yeah. So I don't want to oversell people, and also people have got their own lives to leave. But yeah, so that was probably I can't remember when that must have been. Probably like two summers ago.
Yeah, July
or 2 or 3 summers ago, and then you randomly, was it like a year later, I got a WhatsApp from you saying, hey, it's Sam, do you remember me? I was like, what, this guy? Like, no way. Probably, was it 9 months? Or it was quite a while.
Yeah, it was a year and a half later. I remember I remember, I reached out for a specific reason. It's so weird how the world works. Just because literally, and it's so funny. Like you, from what I remember, you obviously I approached you and we were chatting, and sometimes you just have those kind of connections with people and you never see them again. Yeah. And I remember we were laughing and stuff like that, and I was like, come on, let's get you on board, that kind of thing. I was trying to be a stunt and cheeky and that kind of thing, but you really had to go, but you were like, hey mate, you'd be good at tech sales. And at the time, that was 2023. That was when I first started being really good, and I was really, really, really valued by the company that I was working at. I loved that company, and they loved me, and they really were treating me so good that I didn't even see anywhere outside of fundraising. So I was when you were telling, and also I was trying to get you to do something. You're I wasn't in the mindset for it. So I took your number. I was thinking it might be cool, but I think I was trying to get you. Was so much in a rush, and I was like, man, okay, let me go against the next person, and I just left it. And then a year and a half later, funny thing, you worked for AlphaSense earlier in your career.
I did, yeah.
And there was another guy from AlphaSense that approached me, I approached him. Same thing I was working on Fenchurch Street.
That's mad.
I pitched him. He said, no, I don't have this. And I was like, all right, cool. A different objection handle. I was like, hey, okay, let's think about it for you specifically. Ending youth homelessness, that's good for the UK economy. If we do this, it will add a lot of value to the UK economy. And that means there's more taxpayers. And he was just he just looked at the way our objection, he was like, you'd be good in my job in tech sales. Hey, he did the same thing. Really? But then at that time, I was more open to it because it's I'd had a year of, I'd also, different life periods. I was married now. I'd already got married, and I was thinking okay, I need a career with a much higher earning potential. 56K is really good, but that's the top level of any fundraiser, and I'll need something that you can
And you're manually on the street every day.
Exactly. It'd be great to be able to work from home and that kind of stuff. So I was more open to that, and he helped me with he referred me to AlphaSense. Long story short, didn't get that role, but in doing the interview process for that, I started researching into tech sales, and I was like, wait, so you're telling me that what I'm getting now, I could get like in your first year, and then it goes up from there, and it's like the same skills that I'm using. We can work from home, like so many different things. You're working in technology, which is like obviously what's taking over the world right now. Like so that's when I started getting passionate about it. And even though I didn't get the job, it kind of lit a fire under me.
100%.
And then because it was, I had kind of had the intent, I had the interest about it. That's when it's so weird. It's sometimes you don't see things until your mind's got that intent a little bit. So I'd been seeing maybe some Entr Tech stuff, but I hadn't really like realized, wait, I swear I met a guy who was talking about Entr Tech or something like that. And then it was when I started like seeing more podcasts like the one I'm doing right now. And then I was like, wait, I think I got that guy's number in my and then I looked through, and the reason I remember specifically was July 2023. It's because the notes in my phone with your name and your number and stuff like that was saved in that time. And then I hit you up. I was like, hey, can I get I mean, I know you do this thing, I want to get an SDR, or I didn't get a job. And you were like, man, I worked at AlphaSense, and that was probably the easiest sale you ever got, because I was straight inbound, straight.
I was like, where do I sign? I was like, okay.
Literally.
I want to start now. I was like, okay,
100%.
take a step back.
Literally, he probably thought it was a fake. Like.
I was honestly shocked. I was like, no way. And like, what are the odds? And also the fact that someone from AlphaSense had approached you, which I worked. I was like, what? It obviously shows that you're natural, which you are. If anyone's listening, I mean, probably not good for ZoomInfo, but you're probably a talented guy.
Appreciate it.
So that was cool. I mean, and then tell me about the program itself. How did you find it? I mean, you've come to some of the events as well. How did you find the 6 weeks and the whole program as well? And talk to me about your transition through to ZoomInfo.
Man, I loved it, man. I genuinely, I can't words like. It was amazing. I know I'm on the podcast, but I like, you can, there's messages to prove this, and you can put it on the edit if you want to. But like I said from the start, like if you like, eventually when I get a job, I want to be on that podcast, because like the course, there was so much value from it. I feel like it gave me so much value, because I reckon if I had manually tried to get into tech sales and applied, I might have learned the lessons eventually through trial and error, but I would have burned a lot of the companies that I had wanted to apply for, and it would have taken me way longer. Whereas with Entr Tech, it was such a structured course. But to be completely transparent, I've done the course now, and I've got a job, so I can just say, but like I didn't finish the course content. There is so much course content to do, and it is a time investment. But I did most of it. It's not like I didn't do any of it at all. But like the main value that I got out of it was the Zoom calls with the coaches,
the live sessions,
literally the runs that we went on, where you meet those people, the people who are doing the live sessions, you chat to them, build network and get advice at the same time. Like if you're, and I'd give advice for anyone who's like far down the, like who's really considering Entr Tech and who's might have already applied or anything like that. I'd say it's kind of like you've just got to make the most of it. There's so many resources available, but you have to be the one that's hitting that. You can attest to how many times I was messaging you throughout the night. Like literally, hey, I've done this, I've done that. I said this to my coworker yesterday, Tamana, who you also helped to get into ZoomInfo. Like, I was like, I was treating you like you were my boss, even though I was paying you to do the course. I was treating you like you're my boss and I'm an SDR, and like I'm trying to set up literally. So it was just
sort of business,
100%. And if you really make use of the network that you get, and obviously still you watch the course. I'm not saying don't watch any of the course content at all. But make use of that. Put it into action. Build relationships, talk to people. I got my job at ZoomInfo through cold calling. I cold called one of the guys, but I would have never had the confidence unless I'd done the cold calling session and that kind of thing.
You had a couple of offers, didn't you? There's one that we set you up with, but I'm glad you actually in the end chose ZoomInfo, because it sounds like you're absolutely smashing it now and doing super well. We'll go into that. But I guess tell us about the interview process, because you had a couple of offers and you were weighing them up.
100%.
That's such an ideal outcome, right? Not everyone's going to have the luxury of that, but
100%.
How did you navigate that? Because I remember I didn't want to push you down either way. I might have felt like I was trying to say go to the other company, which we won't name. But I said, just you got to do what's right for you. Obviously money talks as well. I think it's a much better offer, and also the culture and the actual software. Sounds like you're in a really good space now, right? What's the great thing about working at ZoomInfo?
So I love the company. I'll answer your first question first. Like with the process of getting the job, I really appreciated the helping me get like 2 offers, because when I say the main value of Entr Tech is the network, is because what I think helped me in my favor was because I was so on it with you and like really trying to show you that I was a good candidate. You might, I know you did this for other people as well, for a lot of other people as well, but like I wanted me to be fresh in your mind when you're thinking of, hey, I've got a network, I know someone who's applying, okay, who would be really good? Okay, Sam's been doing all of these extra things. So what eventually happened, because I was doing a lot of that kind of stuff, was you
there's a few other interviews, wasn't there?
There was so many that you put me through to.
Were you the last round?
There was
we
so
can talk
many.
about that as well.
Yeah, man.
Because I thought that was nailed on for you, because it was almost, for people listening, it was like a hybrid of in the office but also some street work in the food space. I thought, wow, nailed
face
on.
To face.
And I think you're on the last stage.
And
then we'll go into that.
Definitely. I think that's important.
There's almost some mistakes where people can learn from, but
100%,
I thought you were nailed on, but you breezed through, and then the last stage you didn't get it, but that didn't stop you from still going and getting more interviews, more offers. But talk to me about that knockback, because we talked back around like the feedback from it, and it was like you saying, Jack, I shared like my music. That's right. And I was like, I love that, but quite bold. Maybe so it's almost like you got to find that equilibrium. But like, it just shows that you were getting so many late stage offers.
I mean, to be honest, it's actually, that's a good thing to speak about, because I'm talking about lots of the successes, but it's not like I just came in through Entr Tech, got a job straight away. Some people did get jobs earlier than me, but there was lots of knockbacks before it. What was good was that I had the coaching and was able to bounce off of you and get that feedback. Sometimes businesses don't even give you the feedback, and I'd have to go through you to get the feedback. With that GK company, man, that was one of the 2 companies that I was so sad. Like, as happy as I look now and everything, and I'm happy in my role and stuff, but it's in sales, in business, in everything, in fundraising, there's always going to be days where you're just drained. And in that interview process, it's kind of like a sale. And those 2, the reason it was because for that company, I was so sure I got it. I was planning my journey to work. I was planning, these are gonna be my co-workers. Man, literally, I was like in the last round interview, I was speaking to the founder. We were building so much rapport. We were talking about, they were treating me like I was part of the team, and I think that probably was what worked against my favor.
You got maybe too comfortable.
100%. You still have to have that professionalism. It's B2B. You can still have that rapport, but one thing that I've learned a lot since I've transitioned is that there is a professionalism that in fundraising it can just be like, hey, we're cool, and but literally. So long story short, I started opening up about my music, and music's opening up about that is great, but I started showing my music and sending it to the founder and hey, listen to this song and that song and that song, and my music. Please don't everyone who's watching this go and look it up.
It's
but
great. It's great. But I think that enthusiasm is just so you, and you've got to be authentic. You've got to be so authentic. I think, but then I guess, as you said, there's that kind of last bit of maybe like corporate that you've got to sort of have just to make sure. But I mean, so you blew it out the park. And funny enough, I think it sounds really deep and profound, but I think it's sometimes things work out the way they should.
100%.
Because where you are now, one of the fastest growing companies
definitely
in the software space, and
definitely.
I guess what's it like? How was it like with that interview process? And I remember didn't the hiring manager call you up on the weekend to try and close you, to say come join us, because you had obviously another offer from another company that we worked with. So how was that? Because they must have loved you. It must have gone so well. So the story with getting into ZoomInfo, I saw my boss said that I can say some of the names. So I saw a guy called Teddy.
He's like the outbound manager. He posted that like, hey, we're hiring inbound SDRs. Since I know this is going to be online though. Since side note, since I did it, I've heard that like so many people have been cold calling him and like, I don't know how much he picks up now. So but anyway, like I sent him a message directly as soon as I saw it, and I said, hey, if you're looking for someone who's hardworking, driven, results focused, got a track record, something like that, then I think I can help you. Yeah. And then I found his number on a one of actually ZoomInfo's competitors, because I didn't have a ZoomInfo license.
We were named competitor.
Literally. But like, I found his number. Called him. Was like, hey, like ran a spin discovery, but like I was like, hey, is that Teddy? He was like, yeah, speaking. I was like, yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, this is a cold call, but like do you have 30 seconds? He was like, yeah, fire away, man. And I was like, he was like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, my name's Sam. He was like, what's your last name? I was like, Sam Lawal. He was like, well, I'm literally looking at your LinkedIn right now. I thought you were a recruiter. Like, yeah, Ghana. And then what I learned in Entr Tech was you need to do research. You kind of got to personalize it, make it relevant. Sure. So I looked on his LinkedIn, saw that all his teams had always hit target. And I was like, hey, like, so I've seen that you're an outbound manager and all your teams have always hit target. What are you doing in your current interview process when you're hiring new like SDRs to make sure that you maintain that and to make sure that your teams continue to hit target? And then he started speaking. I was listening. I can't remember the specific story, the specific question, every single question I asked him, but I remember I asked that question. And what I do is just listen to what he said, ask a follow-up, but then try and like veer it into, there's a book called Spin Selling that, funnily enough, GK for that interview for that company, they asked you to like do some research on spin selling for the interview, and I just read the whole book. And then so I was trying to do that with him, like trying to get into think of pain points. And like I think one of the questions I asked was like, how much does it cost you when you hire someone that's bad? Like how much does that cost the company? Like trying like forgetting, literally. And I said like, okay, so if you can find someone that's like you said, hardworking, got a track record, what would that do for you? And then he started asking me some questions, and then I just pitched because I could have called him and just been like, hey, I'm top street fundraising the company, I got team leader of the decade, but that probably would have turned him off. But then because I was kind of asking him questions and like pitching to what was relevant, he like it spoke to what he was looking for.
You're already doing the job. You're almost like consultative selling yourself.
Literally 100%. And then he told me to send my CV. Went through the interview process. Like got some what was good about the Entr Tech process was before I made a lot of hiccups with the I like being on this podcast because I can kind of like speak broadly and keep going off, but like you have to speak quite concise in the interview, and even when you're on the phones, and I'd be very I'd speak too much, and when I did the interview training with Chandy, I think she kind of like refined some of my answers. So I think on the day that I had the ZoomInfo first round, I had like 4 other interviews that day, including the other company that you helped me get. And long story short, got through the first one. They were super quick with it. But what did help in my favor was that you helped me get through to another company, that other company. And I think you had a relationship with them, so you kind of told them, hey, like ZoomInfo is interested, and anyone who's watching it helps when you have like other companies,
other offers, right?
Yeah, literally
sort of play them off against each other, which at the end of the day, you're in sales to earn money and do well, right?
100%.
Like that's got to be the majority of it, culture, the products, all that other good stuff. But money talks. But and I think you got a pretty strong offer, which you're happy with. And I remember you telling me that the SDR manager called you, trying to like persuade you to come. Which is good.
I was so close to going to the other company. I was like sure on that. But
like
then
deadline day, it's like
literally
deadline.
100%. And then he really good boss. Like he's my direct boss right now, and like he called me, knew that I'd told the hiring manager that I was thinking about a different offer, and he just called me, kind of was just really empathetic, really like, and just gave me a clear. The thing that I love about ZoomInfo is that there's like just a clear progression structure and like the earning potential at the company is really good. And obviously it's both of the companies that I had offers from were leaders in the space, but like it's just the training and development, and the main thing that I liked about ZoomInfo was just the value proposition was so clear to me. And he just kind of spoke to what I cared about and kind of sold me, objection handled me on it. And now I'm happy I made that choice. I still speak to some people, my mentor from Entr Tech works there, nice. And he still gives me advice and amazing company as well. But I'm happy I made that choice. But so it's an amazing company to work for.
And like I work for a US firm. I think I say on most podcasts, like if you can work for an American company, they'll pay way more than a UK company, and there's opportunities maybe to travel, and like they have much better, I guess, private healthcare and other benefits. Like, what are the main perks of working at ZoomInfo? And I guess, like they say data is the new oil, so if you work for like a data related company, it's going to grow and keep going. Like, and you said you sell to salespeople, so the training must be really good. Like, what was the onboarding and training like?
Yeah, so the training at ZoomInfo for an inbound SDR is really, really comprehensive. So they've got like a whole training program that you do on like a online course, culminating of like videos and exercises and things like that. But then so that's one facet of it, and then you get a champion. So there's an inbound SDR whose job is to train you. So you'll shadow them for an hour every day. You'll also have chats with people in the company to give you that training. The good thing about ZoomInfo is they've made so many acquisitions, and they bought a company called Chorus, which conversation intelligence, coming from charity fundraising, which that kind of isn't possible because you're not going to have a mic when you're face-to-face fundraising. You can't record your conversations and analyze them. Now being able to, there might be a top performer in America that I've never met before, but I can listen to all of his demos, I can listen to all of his calls, see the AI analysis on it, I can listen back to my calls, see the AI analysis on it, and that kind of thing. Like, and having that in-house, the people who usually do much better in ZoomInfo, usually the ones who've read that, watched a lot of Chorus calls. I still do it now as I'm trying to progress, and even just to make myself
just
better
being
at the
open
role.
to learning and development.
100%. Hearing the talk tracks.
Yeah, the best salespeople, that's what they do, right? They're just open to being coachable, learning,
Definitely.
Investing in their in their development.
Definitely.
And obviously it reaps rewards financially because you're going to hit target and do well.
100%.
I didn't realize that they acquired Chorus, because I used Chorus before. So it's a competitor of Gong, right?
Yeah.
I've used Chorus before and Gong, both of them. But
it
must be pretty cool to
100%
to use and
so
play around with.
Literally. Yeah. One thing that I've done like in the last couple of weeks is to help my development now, because even though I've passed on board, I'm through that, I want to still achieve that progression that I was told about, and that I see people doing. Basically, I had it at the start of this month in September. I had a bad week, and I got all of my transcripts from Chorus. I put it into ZoomInfo. Has like a chatbot, like an internal chatbot where it's kind of like a chat GPT thing, kind of like a Copilot-esque thing, but like I would say better. Obviously, I'm a salesperson for ZoomInfo, but so I put all of my transcripts from Chorus into that. I put all of the emails that I sent to the prospects, all of the notes that I sent to the account executives, all of the data that I could think of, maybe like the bad fit notes and that kind of thing. And then I got the chatbot to just analyze all of that data and give me feedback and get it to test me. And I still do this like now, get it to test me on use this thing called spaced repetition to instill it in my brain, like the learnings. And obviously that chatbot is instilled with all of the understanding of ZoomInfo, which is a company that sells to salespeople. So it's like kind of the product expert, like in terms of sales and how to manage discovery and that kind of thing. So I got the chatbot to analyze all of my calls, find my weak spots, find the patterns that worked, and then test me on that. And then literally I said, but in the first week in September, I had one of my worst weeks, only got 5. 5 SQLs, but then next week I got 19, which
19
so
in a
yeah,
week?
yeah.
In a week?
So yeah,
That's
it was
How are you
inbound, by the way. So
yeah. How are you doing targets wise though? Pretty up there?
Yeah. So since I started, I've always hit target. First month I got like 175% of ramp. Since then it's been between like 120 to 133% of full quota.
Nice.
But yeah, with Chorus and with the training program, it's like people ramp up very quickly. It's not just me, like other people ramp up really quickly.
Nice. And where do you see yourself going? Obviously, off camera, you speak about doing outbound SDRing.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going the next 12 months, 18 months, 24 months? Some people stay in sales, change to marketing or customer success. Do you want to be an account executive? Like, what's your vision going forward?
Yeah. So I'd love to become, so obviously inbound to outbound, and then outbound to like mid-market outbound. There's different levels in ZoomInfo, but like, and then eventually become an account executive. I know a lot of people would agree with me that new business is harder than customer, because they're both kind of sales and managing, but like when it's new, new. So I want to master new business and then go, and then potentially if I like it, then maybe go to like customer success or like account management, or if I like it, but maybe even just stay in be an account executive, and that would be great.
Nice, awesome. And I guess what advice would you give to people that are looking to get into the industry, number one, and before that, like what's your day in the life? What does your week look like? Like, are you in the office often? What do you do when you get into the office? Like, what's your setup at ZoomInfo?
Yeah. So we work like 8:30 to 5:30 contracted hours, obviously an hour break, and so we'll usually have a team meeting, make like X amount of dials we got to make a day. Try and just get as close as we can to target, like every single day, like put some bricks forward to it. With me, I'm big on like just different technicals, things like agenda emails, trying to like follow up and that kind of thing. But I'll try and run through that. My goal, I don't do this every single day, but especially in the last few weeks, I've tried to do this more, is to analyze afterwards. So maybe get the calls from the day, get the transcripts. Like there's different agents on our chatbot thing. Get it to give me some advice or that kind of thing. I'm not gonna lie and say that I do that every day, but like even if I do that once, twice a week, like it still really helps.
Nice.
1% better. And then and then the evenings are quite chilled. Work 3 days in the office. Usually I'll just be listening to Chorus. I got some playlists that I have made of like some of the top performers. So I'll just listen to the Chorus on my way home.
Nice.
Maybe I'll be in the gym. If I don't want to listen to music, I might listen to the Chorus, and that usually helps me ramp up. I'm a bit of a nerd, I'm not gonna lie. Like I still have a social life. I still like I still am. My life isn't all work, and you don't have to do this. But on my weekends lately, in the last, like I had that bad week of five, and then and we're supposed to try and get like 10, and then on the weekend I did some analysis stuff, and I personally, just because I'm a bit of a workaholic, do a little bit of like stuff to just upskill myself, but you don't have to. You could just work the contracted hours, really focus during that time, and rest in the evenings and weekends, maybe listen to some Chorus calls, and you could still be a top performer. A lot of top performers do that.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think top performers definitely go above and beyond and put some time in. People I've spoken to and see do really well, like even a Sunday evening, just prepping their week. So sick, awesome. And football-wise, it is a sales and sports podcast. Are you a Chelsea fan? Is it?
Yeah.
Big Chelsea fan.
I was a big Chelsea fan when I was much younger.
Sports-wise, you still into sports?
Yeah, I mean, I still like playing it, and I play with the ZoomInfo football team.
Football team.
Yeah. It's like we do like a five-a-side on
against
on Thursdays.
other leagues or other companies?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Who do you play against?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure which. All I know is I turn up and there's
Nice.
like we've got a guy who we call the gaffer, who he knows like all the like people on the thing and that kind of thing. But yeah, we play football, go for beers afterwards and that kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's a good sort of social life as well.
Yeah.
So if you do well, not even you do well, but there's a good outside of work.
Trying
to connect
100%. Yeah. Like we had
Socials.
the sports day, which was quite cool. Yeah, and we just so I still play football and like play tennis and that kind of stuff, but yeah, I'd be lying to you if I said that I still cry over Drogba or Drogba getting sent off like I did when I was in year 6. Man, that game against Man U when Chelsea were playing them and they wanted to win the Champions League and Drogba got sent off and someone missed the penalty, or I think it was John Terry or someone like that. And I was crying the whole next day. Literally. Right now, I'm not that much of as a fan as then. Yeah. But I'd still say Chelsea and Crystal Palace are my teams.
Palace, yeah.
Yeah.
You like keeping active. You come to somewhere run. Sounds like you go to the gym.
100%.
So it's quite important as well to stay active if you're working so hard as well, just to keep yourself in check.
100%. I actually had I won like a little competition with some other people, just like a one-day spiff. Of like same day bookings and stuff like that, and was lucky enough to have some food with our head of RevOps and when she came to the UK, and she was just talking about how much she loves runs and exercise, and I will definitely attest in the last month, it's mainly September that I've really been focusing on my like development, and what I notice is if I go to the gym the night before and then have a little run in the morning, I'm way more on fire throughout the day. Yeah, or it helps when I go to the gym in the morning, but if I'm starting at 8:30, it's quite hard to wake up and have a full session. But like if I try and get a gym workout in the evening, is like a spa where I like really go sauna and stuff like that.
Nice.
Then I'm way more like my head's much more clear, because sales can be emotionally draining.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
It takes a lot out. Like the energy you put out every day.
Definitely.
So what do you do, like a run every day, a 5K or like a 2K?
Yeah. I just try and do like 30 minutes of running, even if it's
every day.
Yeah.
Really?
So it's inconsistent. Sometimes there'll be a week where I maybe do it one time, but in the last month it's been like every day, like 80% of the time. And then like I'll go to the gym maybe like 2 times a week.
Good stuff.
But like as long as I'm active, then just the stress of people declining meetings, people not turning up,
exactly. And sort of goes away a little bit.
As much as I talk about all the positives that I've, like, man, it can be very draining, this job, and it can be, and if you're not doing some sort of exercise, it can really
be consuming.
Mental toll.
Consuming.
The thing with fundraising was I was out on the street walking around all the time. But now I'm on the, like, sitting down at a desk. I've realized that going on a run, going to the gym is needed for my body, for the blood circulation,
the brain, everything.
100%. Literally.
Awesome, mate. Well, it looks like someone's trying to come in. Last question from me. What advice would you give to someone looking to break into tech sales today?
I'd definitely say get yourself a network of people who are invested in your success, because as I said, it can be a lonely grind, especially when you're getting no's and rejections. And if you can, obviously I did Entr Tech and I got so much value out of it, so I would say if you can do Entr Tech or something similar, but mainly something that where there's a network of people who are in the industry, have links in the industry, where you can see their successes and who are invested in your success as much as you are. That will definitely help. And then the main thing that I'd say is just having your mindset that you're the product and you're selling to companies your labor. So the same way you'd do the job to get the job. If there's any one buzz quote from this, do the job to get the job. Fill up your pipeline with interviews, cold call hiring managers, do research, do all of the things that you learn on the course, that something like Entr Tech. set up the initial meeting, like the demo is the interview.
Yeah.
Then run the interview, speak concisely, deliver value, talk about case studies of where you've done things in the past and then get to the next round and
follow up.
But literally, and follow up. Yeah, send an email, like literally. And then if you can do all of that and you have a network behind, I'm telling you, people come through, people come through Entr Tech and get a job within six weeks. Yeah. You can cut that time down by so much more. But so that's what I'd say.
Powerful. Awesome, mate. Well, thanks so much for coming on. Where's the best place for people to reach out to? Is it LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn. Yeah,
cool.
LinkedIn.
We'll put your link down below so anyone's watching. Thanks so much, mate. That was awesome. So much value.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me on.